the midpoint of a line joining y 2a 3 and z negative 4b is m 1 2a minus 1. Find the values of a and b. Then you also find for the length of yz. That is the length of the line. So now the question makes it clear that the midpoint of a line is what? M. The coordinate of the midpoint is 1 2a minus 1. I getting it? Now they have given you two coordinates over here. I getting it? And these two coordinates, its midpoint is what you are going to look at. So in the formula of finding midpoint, for this, if you don't know the formula, it becomes difficult. Now, formula for finding midpoint is this. So the midpoint formula, let me see, m to represent it. So m, that is the midpoint. Let me write the midpoint. I getting it? Is equal to x2 plus x1 all over 2 comma then y2 plus y1 all over 2. That is the formula for finding the midpoint. Note that the question we have here, this is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So when you're talking of midpoint, it's trying to talk about these two coordinates at the point where they are at what? In the middle. That is why we are dividing with 2. So I'll group the x values as 1 and I'll group the y values as 1 and divide it by 2 to get the midpoint, middle point. Because if I have this line and this line is 10 centimeters, right? 10 centimeters, and I want the middle, I have to divide by 2. Middle will be at 5 centimeters. Basically, that is what we are doing here. So we'll take the x coordinates for each of the points over here and add them and divide by 2. The same apply to the y to get our midpoint. So this is the formula. Good. Now let's look at the question. Let's look at the question well. Now looking at the question, it says that the midpoint is what? 1 2a minus 1. So I'm going to have it this way. 1 2a, write it well. 1 2a minus 1 is equal to x squared plus x1 all over 2 comma y2 plus y1 all over 2. So this is how it's going to be. I've already told you that the first coordinate is always x, the second coordinate is always y. That is why I've done it. So if I started with x here, that is why I'm moving with x. So it's always advised, start with the x own before you come to the y. So now I have it. Now that I have it, I will now come and substitute the values of x2, x1 inside, right? So let me say this is x1, y1. This is x2, y2, right? Good. For the two coordinates over here. So here, I've already substituted this one. So you have 1, 2a minus 1 equal to my x2 over here is negative 4 plus my x1 over here is what? Plus 2a all over what? 2, comma, I getting it, comma, then here we are having what? Y2 plus what? Y1 over 2. So my y2 over here is what? B. Then my y1 over here is what? 3. All over what? 2 over here. So now that I have it this way, it will make it simple. To make it clear for you to understand, okay, we are going to separate them one after the other and solve it so that it becomes easy for us. So let's take note of what I'm going to do next. Right now that I have these values, I know this is for x, this is for y, here is for x, here is for y. We know that. So we are going to deal with the x own separately and deal with the y own separately. Let's do that over here, okay? So we do for x and we also do for y. So for x, we are going to pick the x1 over here is equal to, then I'm going to pick the x value over here, negative 4 plus 2a all over 2. You get it? Good. Now I can do my cross multiplication because you know that whenever I have 1, it's the same as 1 over 1. So I can do cross multiplication. So I'm going to get 2 times 1 here, 2 times this will multiply is the same thing, times, equal to negative 4 plus 2a. So we'll group like terms. 2, this one will come here, plus 4 is equal to what? 2a. So 6 is equal to 2a. So we are going to divide both sides by 2. So you are going to get here 3 is equal to a. Right? Good. That is for x. Now let's see for y. So for y, the same thing we are going to do. This is the y value for the midpoint answer over here. So 2a we have 2a minus 1 over here. So 2a, let me write it well. 2a minus 1 is equal to, then over here I have the y to b plus 3 over 2. So b plus 3 all over 2. And as I told you, whenever I have it like this, it's over 1. So I can do my cross multiplication. So these 2 is going to multiply this. So 2 into bracket 2a minus 1. Always take note that this 1 will always multiply these 2. That's why I put it in brackets. Most of you will just take the 2 and multiply maybe only the 2a, make it 4a minus 1. No. So whenever it is 2, take it, put it in brackets. If it is 2 different algebra or numbers, put it in brackets and use that number to attach it. It's equal to this one to 1 times this. B plus 3 will give us the same thing. So I write my b plus 3. So I'll expand. 2 times 2a will give us 4a. 2 times negative 1, negative 2 is equal to b plus 3. Right? Is that okay? Good. So now that we have this, you take note. This is A, this is B, and that is where most of you get confused. But check here. That is why this one is very important. So we have our A here. Good. So now that we have found our A here, we are going to substitute it into this to make us find our B simply. That is why we dealt with this one first. So I'm going to get here 4 into bracket 3. Because A was 3. So I'm putting inside minus 2 is equal to B plus 3. So 4, 3, 12 minus 2 is equal to B plus 3. So 12 minus 2 is 10, which is equal to B plus 3. Then I'll still group like them. So 10, this one move here, minus 3 is equal to B. So 7 is equal to B. Therefore, my answer for B is equal to 7. So in question I, it says find A and B. We now have it. Therefore, so our A is equal to 3 and our B is equal to 7. As simple as that. So this is the procedure you follow in order to get the concept of it well. Now let's continue and see. It said that find YZ. That is the length of the line. I get it. Find the length of the line. So this one, as you see here, YZ simply means length of the line. Line YZ. That is the meaning. I get it. And the formula for that, I get it. So the formula for that is the YZ, length of the line, will be equal to square root, okay? Square root of x 2, or let me make it x1, any of them, x1 minus x2 plus y1 minus y2 all squared. This is the formula we are going to use to find for the length of the line. So it simply is trying to tell us that YZ. Now this is our YZ. I get it. So since we have our YZ over here, you know that they didn't give you directly. So there was algebras that were representing it. So first of all, I need to make sure that I substitute the A values and the B values inside so that I can get my coordinates for Y and Z. So to get for my Y will be what? 2 into bracket, A was 3 here. So we are going to get into bracket 3. I get it, which is 3. So here, Y, we are going to get 2, 3, 6, which is 6, 3 for Y. So this is actually going to be x1, y1. Then let's look for our Z. Z, right? Z was negative 4b. And what was our B? Our B was what? 7. So I'm going to get here negative 4, 7. And this is going to be our x2 and y2. So these values is what we are going to substitute into this to get our answer. This is the values you are going to substitute. Right, good. So now let's go on and substitute it inside to see our answer for the length of the line. Let me clean this place. So this is how we move with it. So now we have our formula, length of the line, which is the YZ is equal to square root of x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. So our YZ is equal to, let me write it well, YZ is equal to, so our square root, our x1, we have 6 here, minus our x2, we have negative 4, into bracket negative 4. Remember that there was minus there already, and this one is negative 4. That is why I did like that. So I have to use a bigger the brackets rather. So raise to the power 2 plus my y1. Where's my y1? Is 3 minus my y2, which is what? 7. Raise to the power 2. So I'm going to get yz here will give us 6. Mind you, if negative and negative is positive, so 6 plus 4 into bracket squared plus 3 minus 7 is what? Is negative 4 into bracket squared. So we are going to get yz is equal to 6 plus 4 is what? 10. So 10 squared plus here negative 4 times negative 4. You are going to get positive 16, because this one we expand it is negative 4 times negative 4, which is 4, 16. That is why we had this. Sorry. So let me just break this one down. So we had 10. So 10 raised to the power 2 give us 100. So let me just do it that way so that it becomes simple for us. So yz now becomes what? It's equal to square root of 116. But we cannot get square root of 116, right? You cannot get it. So therefore, you can leave it in units and say that our yz is equal to 116 units. If you can further break it down into sets to make it simple, you can do that, then you are gone. And that will be our answer for the length of the line.